Hey guys, so hopefully it was informative. Let's come back up and throw in the formula just so we can reference back to this later. What we know is that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, a, b, and c. Now, a quick note that I want to make in this is that A and B are actually very much interchangeable. So when we're about to do this, I want to make a quick note. When we're solving for these things, we're going to use some highlighters here to really denote which is which. So A and B, I used yellow for both because A and B really just signify the two legs. So the two legs are the 2 points that are connected by the right angle right here. So the two that are connected by the right angle are the legs. Those are A and B. It does not matter which is A and which is B. Doesn't matter. So that's just something to keep in mind. Please make sure you take note of that. Well, that didn't work very well. So A and B. Now, C, we're going to show in blue here. C is always going to be the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the area or the side that is across from the right angle. So if we draw an angle or a line from this corner up to the hypotenuse, that is C. That is the one that matters in terms of being different. So there we go. Great. So what we're going to do now is using that formula, we're going to solve if we have A, if we have B, and if we have C. We're going to solve for this. Now, the first step every single time, please note every time, start by writing A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Now, step one is we're going to identify our sides. We're going to see down here, we're going to label and identify our sides. So here, I've labeled A as 3. So I'm going to write 3 squared plus B, which in this case is 4 squared equals C. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it as C squared. So basically what I just did here is I plugged what I knew in where it needed to go. I plugged in A. I substituted in my sides, the values of the sides. I have A, which is 3, B, which is 4, C, which we're trying to solve for. And I'm squaring all of them. Now, what I do here is once I've labeled and substituted those into the equation, I know that I'm solving for C because that's my unknown value. So I say, okay, what's 3 squared? 3 squared is 9 plus 4 squared, which is 16, equals C squared. Well, now I add these and I get 25 equals C squared. Here is the step that you need to be really careful on. And a lot of students forget this one. My last step is I'm going to say, I don't want C squared. I don't want C squared. I want C. So I'm going to square root each of these, because what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. So when I square root, I find out the square root of 25 is 5. So C, in this case, is 5. C is 5. Using that same knowledge, you're going to come down to these numbers here. We have X, we have Y, and we have Z. These are just the names of the triangles in this case. They don't mean anything else than that. What you're going to do is you're going to label the hypotenuse, the longest side of the right triangle, also known as the side that is across from the right angle. You're going to label the side of the hypotenuse. You're going to label the hypotenuse of each triangle below. After that, you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem, which is A squared plus B squared equals C squared, to find the length of the hypotenuse. Now, triangles are not to scale. What that means is these are pictures, these numbers have been applied to them, you can't just measure these to find out what they are. Sorry. You can't just measure these. You have to actually use the Pythagorean theorem. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. Best of luck.